Okay, if I could have everyone's attention, the call to order of the second regular meeting for October of the Bridgeport Board of Education. Today's date is Tuesday, it's the first meeting of October. Today's date is Tuesday, October 11th, and the time is 6:38 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Secretary, would you call the roll?
Okay, thank you. All right. John Weldon.
Present.
Bobby Brown. Present. Sybil Allen. Christine Baptiste Perez. Albert Benahan.
Here.
Erica Castillo. Michael Macaron. Joseph Sokolovic. Present. And Joseph Lombard present.
Okay. First up is minutes, only one to consider. Those are the minutes of the September 27th, 2022 regular meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Moved by Mr. Sokolovic.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lombard. Is there any discussion or edits to be had? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Mr. Sokolovic abstains. Student representative reports. We don't have any here in the room. Are there any of them online? Oh, please have a seat at the table.
We have two here.
We have two here. Okay.
If it's turning around, it's okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I wouldn't get hung up on that.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll let you introduce yourselves, and if you have anything to report on your school, feel free to do that.
Press the button so it says green.
Yeah. Press the button so you see a green light. We'll start with the gentleman who's furthest towards the audience, which is you.
I'm Erica.
Oh, Erica. Okay.
I'm a student at Aquaculture Regional High School, representing.
Okay.
I don't know.
Anything else to talk? You don't have to, if you got nothing to report. Okay, and you?
I'm Evan Arroyo. I'm a secondary representative for Bridgeport Military Academy.
Okay.
And yeah.
Alrighty. Thank you. We're going to open it up to public comment. We have 5 individuals. The first is Joanne Kennedy.
Did you have a report? I did.
Oh.
Was it sure?
Yeah, I was waiting for that. I said, if you got something to report, please do so.
I thought you just wanted to represent.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Okay then.
Both of you.
So I'm representing Aquaculture Regional High School. I'm Erica. Angie Seafood Market had a successful opening this previous Thursday. As always, the market is open Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. Aqua has also been collaborating with the Associate Soundkeeper Emma DeLaurie and with 2 nurses from Bridgeport Hospital. We also held our first stakeholder meeting, previously known as the Advisory Board meeting. I am also a new member to this meeting to offer a student perspective and voice from aquaculture. Lastly, the RVK Williams is delayed another 6 to 8 weeks per building company. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm representing Bridgeport Military Academy. There are many new events happening this month to jumpstart BMA's partnership with the community members. The first PTSO event on October 26th. During this night, parents of seniors will have a college financial aid workshop. The BMA staff look forward to meeting with the parents of these cadets to create positive partnerships for those for the next 4 years. BMA is hosting a harvest dance for all students. The student council group is hosting the event and practicing their leadership skills when organizing the event. Testing season has begun. Cadets are completing the Reading Plus assessment, and this week they will be using Khan Academy to practice their skills for the PTST and the SAT. later this month. Lastly, recruitment season is still continuing. BMA is hosting our open house in November, and the recruiter has plans for the whole school-wide project to involve all cadets in this event.
Okay, thank you. We're going to move on to public comment. First one is Joanne Kennedy. Oh, and let the record reflect Ms. Baptiste Perez has joined the meeting. Go ahead. Yeah, is it on?
Red light's not coming on?
IT to the rescue. Okay.
Again, I just want to remind you, the scripture says, suffer the little children to come unto me and forbid them not, for such is the kingdom of heaven. Come to the Board of Education meetings a lot. And this is kind of the first time that I've ever seen any old business or new business to be transacted. I think that is a disgrace. I think that is problematic because we have children here in the district that have needs, students, parents, teachers, everyone that works in the school district. There has to be problems that we can solve. So what you're telling me that we're A-okay, we're in a utopia. We have no business to transact. That is pretty sad. In reference to the interim superintendent and the superintendent, I just still want to emphasize that we need transparency. We need an interim superintendent and a superintendent that reflects the community. You guys already know what we mean by that. I read the letter into the record, and all the people that signed onto it, we're still at that stance. Just a reminder, okay? And Mr. Testani, I don't have anything against you. I wish you the best, but we do not need your advice on the superintendent search. The 9 board members, that is their charge. You guys have to do that with the committee with the entity that you decide to do. We just want transparency, and we want the Board of Education, the 9-member board, to have this discussion and agree to disagree, agree, and get a person in here for our students. Moving forward, God help me. I don't ever want to see that we have no business to conduct in a school district of 20,000+ students. That, to me, that's incredible. Incredible. And totally and completely, you can stop beeping me because I'm gonna stop in a second. And I think that's really disheartening to people that love their children here in the city of Bridgeport.
Thank you, Ms. Kennedy. Byron Jackson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here in representation of Hardin Football, and just wanted to go off of reference of Superintendent Mr. Testani. Just here to thank you for all the help and everything that you provided for the football team with the reinstatement of Coach Eddie Santiago and some other things that were done as far as providing an opportunity to have 2 coaches inside of the building, which is a great help. The numbers are not really showing it right now as far as our record, but it's really helping our kids out, and they really appreciate it. We really appreciate it as a staff. They just need it, and we needed that representation in the building and as far as on our football team with Eddie Santiago being back. The kids really gravitate to him and they relate to him, and they just, they understand of having that diversity and that kind of male figure around them. And I just want to show our appreciation and just here to say that. Thank you for the future superintendent. hopefully they can fill the shoes and provide that same opportunity for the rest of the programs in Bridgeport. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
Wins will come.
Sam Utzler.
Hi, my name is Sam Utzler. My children go to Discovery Magnet School. I also wanted to thank Superintendent Testani. They've been going to Discovery for 8 years, so we've seen a few superintendents come and go, and we appreciate all you do for not only the kids, but also the school district. The second thing I wanted to address is with the student representatives. It's only my second board meeting, but I'm not sure if it should be like maybe a little bit more interactive. I mean, they're taking a lot out to come and speak here, not only their time, but I'm sure their nerves. And to only have, like one representative last meeting question whether it came from the children or the parents, it's a little bit, it's not really encouraging. So probably just like a little bit more interaction so that they can really see like how things happen and bring their parents along next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve Nelson.
Hello, board. Fellow Bridgeporters. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak for a second. I'm here just to say some encouraging words about our friend, our former superintendent, who will soon be leaving us for Fairfield. Mike, I just want to take a minute and say, I remember, I go back with you all the way to when you were a guidance counselor. I remember when you were assistant principal. I remember when you were at Wilbur Cross. I remember when you were at Bassick. During my 30 plus years of service as a school police officer, I worked side by side with you. And I want to tell you that in my perspective, you've done a good job. You were good to the kids in Bridgeport. Harry Bell sends his sentiments. We had a camp, we had program today, couldn't make it. He was going to bring kids here, but from Wilbur Cross, but I talked him out of it. But I just want to, wish you well on behalf of not just my family, but our constituents up in the North End, and hope that you do well wherever you go, and you have left a good legacy back here, and we really appreciate everything you did for us. And I want to just tell you good luck.
Keith Pierce.
Steve is good, y'all. Hello, my name is Keith Pierce. Getting you for this. I didn't sign up. Steve signed me up. Just want to let y'all know. But just like Steve said a lot about Tasani, Mike, we go way back at Harding when he was the baseball coach. The baseball coach. And, he, yeah, it's been quite some time. What is it, 38 years now. And still there. But I just want to say thank you, man. I know you get all that ruffles and everything that happened and stuff like that, but a whole lot of people don't understand the magnitude that you did have. They don't know the things that you did do, people that you did help. So, I just want to say thank you, and I wish you well. And whoever is coming to replace you, I wish them well too. And board, y'all will take care of that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. That concludes public comment. I'm going to dispense with the chairman's report. We'll move to committee reports and referrals. Superintendent Search Committee, as you all probably read in the newspaper, the board reestablished that committee. We clarified some parameters that this committee will only be charged with reviewing resumes and screening initial screening of candidates. We will make regular reports as we do these things. And in the end, finalist candidates will be brought to the public. So I just wanted to clarify that for everyone since the last meeting. Next committee is Ad Hoc District-Wide Branding Initiative. Ms. Brown?
Mr. Chair, we have not met in the interim. However, we should be meeting next week on the 19th. Still trying to figure out the date, but I'll let our committee know.
Are there any referrals beyond any that have already been made?
No referrals, but pardon me, I think I noticed a couple of students behind.
Oh, the students came online? Yeah. Okay. So we're going to pause this for now and go back to student representative reports for those students that have joined us online. Can't read them very well. Let's say the name again. Jalil Stewart. Hey, Jalil, do you have anything to report? What school are you from, and do you have anything to report? If you're talking, we can't hear you. Nikki, state your full name for the record and what school you're from, and do you have anything to report?
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Nikki Thomas, and I'm from Bassett High School.
Okay. Do you have anything to report from your school?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Guidance of FAFSA opening September 30th with wearing college and shirts again. Class 20 team will be participating in their first big event of the season, a 5K race, which will be taking place on the 14th of October. The Save a Life will be at Bassett on October 24th. The Distracted Driving program will teach the students about the dangers of driving under the influence, as well as using new technology devices while English classes will go on a trip to the Westport House on October 28th to see a production of From the Mississippi Delta. We are kicking off our PTSO for this year, and if any parents or guardians are interested in serving on the PTSO, they should please contact Dr. Indora. The Student Council Advisor is pushing for more student involvement in the council. And finally, the soccer team celebrated 8-2 win over St. Joseph High School over the weekend. That's it. Thank you.
What sport was that?
Soccer. Thank you. Ms. Brown, I'm going to rely on you to read these names because I can't see them from my angle.
Jay Lee.
Excuse me?
Jay Lee?
Jalil.
Yeah. Sorry,
State your full name.
Issues earlier.
State your full name for the record and what school you're from, and do you have anything to report?
Yeah. Jalil Stewart from Harding High School, and we have an upcoming Pink Out for breast cancer awareness. We also have an upcoming fall festival of music, games, arts and craft, best cozy fall look contest, artwork displays, and more. Debate team is participating in the annual Hispanic Heritage Debate event on October 12th. Students are studying for the upcoming PSATs and the SATs through Khan Academy. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cesarina.
State your full name for the record, what school you're from, and do you have anything to report?
From Central High School, and my name is Cesarina Felicia La Cruz. So we have we did our back to school cookout, where basically the whole school comes out and like eats some hamburgers or like some hot dogs just for the kids to enjoy. We also did our Meet the Teachers afternoon for parents. Plus I've started doing meetings recently. We also have NHS events recently, so such as like breast cancer walk and raising money for the breast cancer awareness. We also do our morning announcements highlighting different Hispanic heritage with a student discussing their country.
Okay.
Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In the IT building. And first off, our students will be visiting University of New Haven this Thursday as a field trip. Tonight, we also have a National Honor Society induction for most of our students. And we also had our first PTO meeting last week, and the officers was established. And we are also planning to have many fun nights this year to educate families and build community at our school. For example, college and career night, STEM night to showcase student work, and free and screen-free night with games and activities. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Is that it? Okay. All right, so we're going to move on back to committee reports. Contracts Committee has not met since the last board meeting. Are there any referrals beyond what have already been made? Okay. Educational Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Ms. Castillo is not here, but it's my understanding she's floating a date of October 18th tentatively. I don't think that's been finalized though, has it?
Not that
I didn't think so, so we'll see. Facilities did not meet since the last meeting. Are there any referrals beyond what have already been made?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
I know we don't meet, but I just want to know when's going to be our next meeting because, I don't want things to go
It's
fast.
been tough because we've been trying, we've had other special meetings and other committee meetings and, the meetings relative to finding an interim superintendent. I'll try to fit one in next week. We've got a few things stacked up that we need to address. So I'll find a date that's clear that nobody else has already taken next week, and we'll use that.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Finance Committee, Ms. Baptiste Perez.
I'm sorry, I don't remember if Finance Committee met before the last regular meeting.
Yeah, okay. Any referrals for Finance? Okay. Governance Committee did not meet since the last board meeting. Are there any referrals beyond what have already been made? We do need to finalize the field trip policy. I know that's lingering out there. Health and Safety Committee is yet to be populated. I'll ask if anyone has reconsidered whether or not they want to chair it. Okay. Personnel met this evening at 5:30. We interviewed for the position of Director of Special Education. That vacancy has been a tough one to fill, but we had some decent candidates that we interviewed this evening, and Mr. Testani will make that final decision. Do you have a sense of when you will do that? Within what time frame? Week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, by the middle of next week, we will finalize the 3 candidates will be interviewed and a final decision made. As you mentioned, it's been a year-long search. It's a tough position to fill statewide, so I think we have 3 formidable candidates at this particular time.
Okay. Students and families?
So far, Mr. Chair and everyone, October 20, 2022 at 6:30 at Central High School and Library, we're going to meet.
Sorry, what date? You were garbled in the beginning. What was the date?
October 20, sir.
October 20. Okay. Teaching and learning?
30.
6:30 Central High School. Got it.
Yeah.
Teaching and learning?
We haven't met since our last meeting. That one I know for sure was before the regular meeting.
Before that, yep. Okay. Superintendent's report? Do you have anything?
Just a couple of items. Just a reminder, October is anti-bullying month. Schools across the district have a number of activities going on throughout the month to raise awareness on bullying and so we just continue to do that. Couple of personnel announcements that I'd like to just acknowledge. Couple that were done late summer. I don't think that were announced through some school improvement grant money. Barnum School hired Dean of Students, Mr. Ronald Jones, formerly of Reed School, was hired as the Dean of Students. Andre Houston from Clater School was hired as the Dean of Students at Bassick High School. Harding High School hired Lewis Jackson, formerly Dean of Students at West Rocks Middle School in Norwalk. He's now at Harding High School. And Central High School hired Lizette Lopez as Dean of Students at Central High School. Want to congratulate those folks. Also, Christopher Johnson was finalized as the principal of Fairchild Wheeler IT. Beswick Channer, principal at Fairchild Wheeler Biotech and Zoology. Christine Neri, principal at Black Rock School. And Dean of Students at Fairchild Wheeler, Margaret Oquenda, was finalized this past week as well. So congratulations to all those folks as they join and take on their new roles. And lastly, I think it's important to, on Thursday, Bridgeport Public Schools has been invited to the Performance Matters Conference being held at the Connecticut Convention Center. We were asked to curate a roundtable to share Bridgeport Public Schools' systemic approach to attendance teams. So that was an honor. Myself, Ms. Reyes, and Ms. Stevens will present at the conference and then be part of a roundtable discussion with other districts on how they can create a systemic approach to reducing chronic absenteeism. So.
For Mr. Testani? Ms. Baptiste-Perez?
My question for Mr. Chestani is more in regards to the superintendent's report from our last meeting. Do you know if all the directors of the different departments would be available to present that to Bridgeport City Council Finance Committee? Because while it wasn't
Staffing presentation?
Yeah, the staff presentation, because while it was informative to us as a board, we didn't get any additional funds from the city. And so I know as you're preparing to exit, probably working some way to coordinate or at least have everyone's information ready so we can plan to present to the city the need for in our district, each department, the fact that each department, although certain roles may be filled, everybody's plate may still be overfilled or overloaded. I think that's going to be real pivotal. And so if you could do that, I think that would be helpful to explain it to the city, because we don't get too many city council members attending our committees. We do make our plea to the city for finances, but when it's presented directly from the directors in our recruitment efforts or in our attempts, I think that's going to be critical. So do you think that's possible, that it could be done, start the coordination and maybe an exit plan if it's not done before you leave?
I'm sure it can be done. I'm not sure if the budget process at the city level hasn't even come close to beginning, but I'm sure they'll be more than willing to present some of the challenges. I think the presentation created, I think, two challenges. Number one, the retention component, which is based on non-competitive salary schedules, which is a budget issue, but also the recruitment end, which also is based on the national teacher shortage, the number of folks entering the pipeline in graduate programs and undergraduate programs when it's related to education. And that has trickled all the way up, even through the 092 ed leadership programs. And I was sharing with Mr. Sokolovic prior to the meeting, even the 093 superintendent certification. But I think the lack of competitiveness, and Joe DeGroat's here from the BEA, is definitely contributing to our ability to compete, especially in lower Fairfield County. But there'll be more than, I think the city council should hear it from a number of voices, not just mine or any of the board members. I think that's a component that they've never heard from.
Yeah, and not to pass any judgment or criticism on anyone on the council, but I think it's compelling that they hear the financial situation with us being able to retain, obtain, and keep staff members of various different levels. So if we can get that on their agenda, and everyone I spoke to say they support education, maybe defining clearly what it means to support education in Bridgeport would be helpful.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I got to double check the dates because I held finance and teaching and learning so close
Oh, you
together.
look back? Okay.
Yeah. So I do have a report for the finance committee.
Go ahead.
We met on September 29th. The last regular board meeting was on the 27th.
Okay.
We had a discussion of the budget variance report, which for somewhat skeptical reasons, we were able to end the school year in a surplus. We did have discussion and approval for the final operating budget for the 2022-2023 school year. I'm not sure why that didn't make today's agenda.
Nobody notified.
But we can get in contact with Ms. Siegel so we can have at the next meeting.
Was that, as I recall, was that specifically on the agenda?
Yes.
The FY23 budget?
Yes. We had an update with some of the ARP ESSER fund expenditures, a discussion of any facility costs that may have arisen from summer 2022, and an update with some pending contracts for the Board of Education approval for this school year.
Okay. Any questions or referrals for Ms. Baptiste-Perez? Okay. All right. So you moved forward proposed balanced budget for the fiscal year. You're ready to move that to the full board?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll put that on the next meeting. All right. There's no old business or new business to conduct. Is there a motion to adjourn? Moved by Mr. Sokolovic. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Lombard. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. The meeting is adjourned. It is 7:11 p.m. Have a good night.